This is the synthetic signal report for Thursday, July 16th, 2026 in the afternoon. Today we analyze the FortiSandbox unauthenticated command injection vulnerability, the critical flaw in the Cloudflare universal SSL system, a major investment in TSMC's Arizona operations, and a bypass vulnerability in Skillable SCORM. We also cover CMS initiatives to standardize payments for clinical AI and 1Password's new Claude integration.
A critical vulnerability in FortiSandbox, tagged as CVE 2026-25089, has been added to the CISA Known Exploited Vulnerabilities catalog. This flaw allows an unauthenticated attacker to execute arbitrary OS commands on the target device. Because FortiSandbox is frequently deployed at the perimeter of corporate networks to analyze suspicious files, the impact of a successful compromise is severe. It provides an attacker with a foothold into the internal network, bypassing traditional gateway defenses. Systems administrators should treat this as a top priority patch, as weaponization is already active in the wild. A high-severity issue, identified as CVE 2026-2026-14440, involves a weakness in Cloudflare's universal SSL system regarding Certificate Authority Authorization, or CAA, record augmentation. The flaw weakens RFC 8657 account binding, effectively allowing unauthorized entities to request certificates that should be restricted. This was originally disclosed as a no CVE finding earlier this year, but formal tracking was assigned yesterday after further investigation. The vulnerability undermines the intent of CAA records, which are designed to prevent rogue certificate issuance. Organizations relying on strict CAA enforcement for their domains should audit their current SSL configurations to ensure this augmentation is not being bypassed. TSMC has announced a massive $100 billion investment in its Arizona production facilities. This expansion follows a record 77.4% increase in quarterly profits, fueled by the insatiable global demand for high-compute AI hardware. This move brings TSMC's total commitment in the United States to $265 billion. The investment is explicitly targeted at building new fabrication plants for 2-nanometer production and advanced chip packaging. This is a strategic play to ensure the domestic supply of the next generation of computing power, effectively localizing the supply chain for critical U.S. customers who depend on advanced semiconductor silicon. A vulnerability in Skillable's SCORM lab launch endpoint allows an authenticated learner to bypass per-user allocation limits. The flaw exists because the backend validates a launch token, but relies on a browser-supplied user ID to enforce session limits. By modifying this ID, an attacker can launch concurrent lab instances and consume the resources allocated to other users. This is an escalation of privilege issue that permits resource exhaustion or unauthorized access to laboratory environments, which often contain sensitive configuration data.
The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, has signaled its intent to create a standardized payment structure for clinical software and AI. The goal is to move beyond the current piecemeal approach and create a framework that explicitly factors in whether an AI tool improves patient outcomes. By tying reimbursement to clinical efficacy rather than just the deployment of a tool, CMS aims to accelerate the integration of high-quality diagnostic models while weeding out software that does not provide measurable health benefits. 1Password has launched a new integration with the Claude AI agent. This allows the AI to sign into websites using credentials stored within a 1Password vault without the AI ever seeding the actual password. The system utilizes a per-request approval flow where the user authorizes the AI to inject credentials directly into the target website. This architecture prevents the agent from accessing the rest of the vault and avoids exposing raw credentials to the AI model itself. Community chatter today highlights significant security and operational concerns. First, security teams are focusing on the WWBN of video vulnerabilities. Multiple flaws, including OS command injection and a signature verification bypass in the Authorize.net plugin, have seen recent updates. Patching these is critical for any media-heavy infrastructure. Second, there is ongoing concern regarding the UV 2026-45039 vulnerability in Salto Pro Access Space software. The flaw allows privilege escalation within the tenancy feature, potentially granting unauthorized access to physical spaces managed by the software. This underscores the risk when IT vulnerabilities cross over into physical security systems. Third, developers are discussing the recent surge in AI agent-driven pull requests on GitHub. A study of over 2,000 repositories shows that AI agents are increasingly used to automate code reviews and small-scale bug fixes, moving from experimental scripts to a standard part of the software development lifecycle.